Well, I tell you this, over the last 12 months, I've emceed, compared two gigs that they played at. One was at the Goa Institute of Management in Goa, and one was at the Raymond Grounds in Thane. Both very different,
Marks Fest, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
both different, distinct audiences cutting through generations, and they had packed houses at both. And I can't tell you how good I feel also, because they've been kind enough to shout out to my daughters after the gig. I've got personal messages done from them, so they're really a bunch of great blokes. So wonderful to welcome from Chai When Chai Met Toast, Ashwin and Achyuth. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, all good, all good. Just chilling at home now after the tour. So, yeah.
The reason they're on is something really special is happening on the 22nd of October, Sunday, at the Tata Theatre at 7 p.m. as part of One World Many Musics, which is a flagship music property for the National Centre of the Performing Arts here. When Chai Met Toast shall perform, and I tell you what, Mumbai is really, really, really excited. Guys, my first logical question is, I imagine you're going to be playing the whole new EP, which is LYTS. Love You the Same?
Yes.
That's wonderful. So I want to talk a little bit about that. The fact that you had Richard Wilkinson, who I imagine is one of the biggest producers in the world, having worked with people like Amy Winehouse, add to your music. I believe you went and lived, was it in the United Kingdom for a while
Yeah.
to get this EP done? Talk to me about that, Ashwin.
I think AJ should go about it. He's
Yeah.
better doing that.
The Richard story.
Yeah, it was a very different experience for all of us, working with someone in another part of the world. So we sort of took that leap last year to sort of fund ourselves to go to London for a month, and pre-produce the whole EP with him and recorded the Rack Studios. It's one of the most legendary studios in the UK. It was a challenging experience for all of us. It was a new learning experience. Richard that way was, very helpful in a sense that he felt like family. We were able to gel really well very quickly, all four of us. So ultimately ended up making him some biryani, and he we all had a great time that 1 month. It was very packed. It was, we had very long days, but ultimately it resulted in 4 songs that we're very proud of.
When you go into major legendary studios like Abbey Road or Rack, there are always stories. That mic was used by somebody, that amp was used by somebody, this corridor was used by somebody. Do you come back with some interesting stories, Ashwin?
There's so many of it. I mean, the whole corridors are filled with pictures of the albums and, frames of albums that's been done there and recorded there. And we also heard a lot of stories about what Coldplay did with their new album and how Codeline Cowan recorded there, as well as how Richard was part of the recording for 19, the album of Adele. And he did mention about how Adele cracked the whole album. And there was so many stories that we've been hearing. And it was so much pressure on us going to the studio, Like, are people going to judge us? I mean, like, what are we compared to them and all of that? But I think we had a great time. Richard made us feel at home. It's such an emotional experience because we never got to live together as a band for almost a month together. It was always like 2 days on tour. We go get to a hotel, come back. But this is so much more than that. Yeah, it became more like a brotherhood then. So I think it's a very memorable journey.
Both ways. It could have either gone
yeah.
to the band breaking up, or it could have gone the right way of us getting closer to each other. But yeah, the latter happened. So
good.
We adjusted. We adjusted.
As fans of the band will testify, they're very happy that you're still together. But the thing with, before that, I must clarify, all of you, everybody's heard of Adele. The other band that Ashwin just talked about is Codeline, which is an Irish band, which I really trip on. In fact, Codeline is set to be touring India very, very soon, so keep your eyes and ears out for that one. Love You the Same, a song is got a lot of arrangements in it. It's really packed in there with lots of musicality. Was that all Richard's doing? He felt he needed to produce it even more, arrange more stuff.
I mean, Richard was guiding us through the whole process. It was sort of, we brought in the ideas, but he sort of mentored us through the whole process. And he was suggesting chord shapes that we could hold, or different arrangements that would make the song better. So we would consider him to be, usually Palee does that in the band, where he takes the call on the final arrangement, the what registers to play, what lyrics to change. I mean, lyrics we both do, but like
Yes.
Richard here brought an additional, a fifth head in the band, fifth, he's almost like the fifth member, in terms of overseeing everything that was going on, and we trusted his call on all the, the whole EP. That being said, it was different for us because here we usually, arrangements wise, you mentioned that the arrangements were very dense. That is something that we internally had a conflict about, because some of us wanted to keep it very minimal. Some of us felt that keeping it dense would be the direction, but ultimately it ended up
We kept it
Dense one. Palee joins us. Palee, we were just talking about Richard Wilkinson and his work with you. And I noticed, as a big When Chai Met Toast fan, that Love You the Same was very dense in terms of the instruments used and the arrangement. And the boys were just explaining that to me. So I'd like to go track by track. So the Sushi song, of course, is all fun. The logical question all of you get asked is, all four sushi fans, or is there the odd one out when you go to a sushi restaurant who doesn't order sushi?
Definitely. Palee doesn't like sushi.
Doesn't
Pai
like sushi.
Pai cannot have sushi. I've made sure Achyuth has sushi now. Achyuth is also a sushi fan. But yeah, the sushi story is completely me. I don't think anybody else in the band kind of relates to that. But yeah.
Yeah, Palee, it's your time to trash the lyric writing. What is it about sushi eating that you don't like? What is it about the taste that you don't like?
I don't know. Maybe the rawness. Maybe in my head, I really felt like
that's
the rawness.
exactly it.
So I always think like it's not cooked, so I can't have it. I might.
Indians and our tendency to overcook everything. Something not cooked.
And there's no
not
masala
right.
to it. So yeah, no, it's not my thing. But it's my head.
Hearts Never Break. Hearts Never Break is really one of my favorite tracks. It's wonderful. It's romantic. And if you could talk me through that song, Achyuth.
Yeah, so all four songs are very personal stories from all four of us during the period of the pandemic and right after the pandemic. So, different things happened in our lives, and Hearts Never Break is obviously a breakup song, and, being at the lowest point of your life. The lyrics are very, poetic in that way. It's sort of emotes what we went through. It's about, there is a hint of positivity, though it's a very sad song. It says that hearts never break, ultimately, even though you feel broken. So it is a very sad song, but it's got an underlying positivity to it, I guess. You can elaborate on that, Ashwin, if you.
Ashwin.
I mean, lyrically, it speaks volumes about how you're going through a very tough time. But musically, I think it was very intentional from our end also, because the song name is Hearts Never Break. That intensely, like Achyuth said, it doesn't break. So it's about moving on, but at the same time, you're going through a lot of emotions at one time. And I think that's what Hearts Never Break is. And intensely, we kept it positive musically. Right, AJ? And Palee? If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
And so beautiful with you has one of Chai Met Toast's favorite phrases, which is firelight. Chasing trails in firelight, in the glow of the moonlight. I'm not complaining. I love it. And there is something so beautiful about seeing fireflies out in a starless sky, isn't it? I mean, it just makes for great songwriting. Any of you can take that. And nobody wants to take that.
No. I'm waiting for AJ to take it.
AJ.
I came up with that line, no? Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of took over that line. I mean, we're thinking over it over and over again. It's necessarily not a firefly.
It could just be the light of the burning pyre. It could all be a campfire or whatever.
Or a torch, or a fire torch.
It's adventure, exploring, travel, falling in love in that process.
In terms of the video of the sushi song, I mean, it just strikes you at being overwhelmingly white. And obviously the art decor and the production was meant to be that way. I mean, the background, everything. So talk to me about that white idea. The white idea. I mean, who did it come from?
He's
We have
referring to the alternate video or the
alternate video.
I'm talking about the one when sushi song video where the four of you are there, and you call up Palee. Palee shows up, and then you're all eating sushi at the end, and you're broken up into 4 boxes like this Zoom screen.
Yeah.
and it's filmed like that. Yeah.
It's more, if you look at it, it's very isometric, the video. The idea came from our art director Malavika. So she's a huge sushi, and she's my fiance as well. So So she's a huge sushi fan, and she wanted to shoot it like very much in like a very animated anime kind of isometric way, where they show anime as like isometric when you shoot it. So the whole video we wanted it to be white so we can be colorful. We've always been a band with not showing our faces, so the video should have been like, we wanted the video about us and how we have a, what do you call it, an intentional practice session with sushi itself, but in a very anime point of view. So we just wanted to do something completely out of the box with that video.
Nice. When did the Farhan Akhtar song discussion about it come about? Was it because they took a promotional track from you for Jile Zara, or were you guys talking to Farhan for a while about Take Me Home?
So it initially came about when our managers sort of interacted with each other. They were so Anurag and Kishan. Kishan's our manager. Anurag manages Farhan. So the both of them, I think Anurag one day sent this song to Kishan, and I think Farhan was keen. He's heard us from like our Firefly days. He shared our song.
He took it on the teaser before he came up with Take Me Home.
Yeah. So he sort of knew that. He wanted our sounding to that track, that particular track. So the discussion started around a year back, but it finally materialized 3-4 months ago when we had a small break between our US and UK and US tours. So that's the 1 month in which we sat on the arrangement, and then one day we flew to Mumbai to record Farhan, and that's where we met him for the first time, even though we have sort of interacted over phone, and like WhatsApp. It was nice to like finally meet him. He was damn sweet. He even brought us some food from his home, and
that's Farhan.
No, I also think that he wanted to release the song as fast as possible because he's written this song 4 years ago. He was telling me that like he's written the song 4 years ago and he wanted to release it as fast as possible because he wants to tell the world the story what he wants to. So yeah.
It's beautiful. I'd be damned. I had no clue that you were on the Netflix Friday Night Plan original motion picture soundtrack. One of those lazy nights, you come home from work, you switch on and say, hey, this looks like a good film, and start watching it. And suddenly I go, man, that sounds like Chima Toast. And then obviously you go back to the end credits and go forward, rewind, till you find that it was you guys on that soundtrack, and along with Siddhant Kaushal, of course. How did that happen?
Is it? Somewhere or the other connected, somewhere or the other. So you have to explain.
This actually came through one of our friends, Sandesh and Rahul, who were music supervisors with the movie. So they approached us to make this song, which had a very indie soundtrack. If you notice, like all the 3 songs, one of them was composed by Dhruv Vishwanath, one of our good friends and one of the artists we really love in the scene. Another song was done by Scrat in collaboration with Daira's vocalist. And the third track, they approached us. It sort of, it came together very quickly, that song actually. We
were in Jaipur, if I'm right.
Yeah.
And we wrote the song.
Yeah. It was a very seamless process working with them also. They were really like, they gave us all the creative freedom to do whatever we wanted, and that's why it sounds very like very
Chima Toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a Tamil who's grown up in Bombay like me, I mean, you guys symbolize cross-culturalism. And, there are lots of people like me who will turn around and say, man, I love the smattering of the Tamil lyrics or the Malayalam lyrics, the bits of English, everything. But I think Kahani, the song, opened you up to an entirely heartland audience. And, I have a lot of love and respect for Ankur Tiwari as a singer-songwriter. And I believe Ankur wrote that song for you guys, and it's turned out so beautiful. So, Palee, you've been largely silent. So you want to take the kahani, the story behind Kahani.
I think there is no much like story behind. Like when we make music, we don't think like we need to make a Hindi song. We don't think like that. Actually, whatever the tune or like what the tune comes in, if we try out in English, we try out in every language that like Ashwin knows Tamil, Malayalam, Hindi, and English. So we try out in different language, and I think for Kahani the best one was like Hindi. So and me personally, I don't know Hindi. I'm really don't know anything. And Ashwin and Achyuth and Pai knows Hindi a bit. So initial plan was like we tried to write something, but we were not happy. So we approached Ankur and we explained this about the song, and he wrote us.
I mean, see,
Lovely.
the main thing there was, I'll just add to what Palee said. So, the song was initially hummed and written in English, and that's how the song came through. But then the moment we decided that's not working and we wanted to do it in Hindi, the moment we decided that, we thought this would be a very Ankur written song.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did not go for anybody else. It was just in our mind, we knew that Ankur was the perfect fit for the song, somewhere or the other.
Super
And
stuff.
yeah, and it was great from him too. Like, we just told him the thing 1 day or 2 day later, he had a
Yeah, the
flight.
song. Yeah.
He wrote something on the tissue and it just fit well. I'm like, okay, this is great.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sent us one day. I mean, we couldn't decipher it, but he sent us the lyrics on tissue paper, which he had written on a flight.
Like,
That's funny. Guys, let's come to the NCPA, the National Center of the Performing Arts. I love the Tata Theatre, and I cannot wait to see you guys perform there. The acoustics are absolutely brilliant, and I like the fact that, unlike traditional stages, you're here, the audience is right there. Almost moving up on you like that. And I wonder if you guys have played there before. If you have any experiences. Oh, you're a virgin performance at the Tata
Yeah.
Theatre.
yeah.
First
That'll be lovely,
performance,
man.
and we're almost sold out. So
Yeah, we're so
Yeah, I
looking
mean,
forward to
I know for a fact that when Chime and Toast fans are going and looking at the ticketing map and saying, "Can I get something in the center box?" Things like that. But you're almost sold out. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about your debut performance. How much you're looking forward to it at the NCPA.
Oh, would love to. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because looking at the images itself, I've never been inside of it. So looking at the images itself, getting very, very excited. And the fact that we did not know how many tickets would sell because we just finished our Bombay tour gig as well in September. But honestly speaking, we're very, very glad that it's come on and people are getting packed, and can't wait to see people right in front of me. I am a very awkward person on stage. So I get like stuck when people are just staring at me. I'm going to have a baller of a time. Let's see.
You're the one who's going to be telling everybody to get out and dance in the aisles.
Yeah. That's it.
they allow us
So
to.
that they don't stare at you.
If they allow us to, that is.
Yeah, I don't think it's allowed though. But you have to check house rules before you perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's such a wonderful and really in that aspect, coming to Mumbai and performing is always special, isn't it, Achyuth? I mean, not just because of people who love you, but also the knowledgeable set of an audience.
Absolutely, Mumbai is definitely the cultural capital of the country. So there's all kinds of audiences that, come to our show. And one thing about the NCPA show in particular is that this show is very accessible to all age groups. That's something we just performed in Chennai last week and we did an auditorium. Usually we don't perform many auditoriums because we as you said, the crowd is, all up on the aisles and dancing and having a good time. But auditorium shows are something we really like because we get to, deliver a performance where people can see us very clearly. The acoustics are perfect. The lighting can be made very interesting. So it's something we really enjoy. It's a different kind of a show from our end.
And I feel I just adding on to it, I feel it's very inclusive to everybody. So we can have like people who are 5 years old who listen to us to 70-year-old coming and watching us live, right?
I think six is the...
Six is the age? No, what? Dia was 6. Dia was 5 or 6.
No, I think this show, NCPA show is 6.
NCPA. No, I'm saying generally. Otherwise,
Chennai.
inclusive. In Chennai, we had a 5-year-old and 11-year-old. both the parents coming and singing all of our songs. There was a 70-year-old couple as well. So it's great. It's great to see. It's great to play auditoriums. It's going to be a different vibe. Palee, you have anything to say? What are you looking
I
forward
was going to say about the 5-year-old child. Like
to?
when they came and met us, like it was great to know that we have a 5-year-old fan. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite interesting. Like we've had a few like over the last few years. A lot of children come to us after the gigs, saying they love music. So it's a very young age group
Yeah.
all that listen to us, which
But
is
you're
very
going to have two more little ones after the gig in Bombay because I'm going to bring my little ones
oh
over.
great.
Sweet.
Guys, tickets are at Book My Show, also at the NCPA site, ncpamumbai.com. So ncpamumbai.com, Book My Show, the app, or bookmyshow.com. They're going out very fast. Go now, else you might find a sold out sign staring at you. 7
Yeah.
p.m. on the 22nd of October, Sunday at the Tata Theatre, National Centre of Performing Arts, NCPA, when Chai Metos rounds up the One World Many Musics excellent festival. Thank you very much, Ashwin, Palee, Achyuth. Wonderful
so
talking
much.
to you, and see you this Sunday. Bye.
Thank you, Hrishi. See you. See
Thank
you.
you
See
so
you with your
much.
kids. Bye bye.
I'm always happy to catch up with Veer Das.
Hello,
And
my friend.
hello, my buddy. This week at the NCPA means he's back at the NCPA, 19th and 22nd, two shows at the Grand Jamshed Bhabha. And
Yeah.
needless to say, they're both sold out. And this must be some record of sorts. What, 8 minutes? 9
8
minutes?
minutes. So we have three shows. We have a 5 p.m. and an 8 p.m. on the 19th, and then we have a single show on the 22nd. But yeah, they sold out in between 6 and 8 minutes. So it's we're very happy. We're very blessed.
Lovely. You know, normally they say Coldplay sold out 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Wonderful to see an Indian bloke who does comedy and who the nation loves. And I can say this nation loves, if you know what I mean. But Veer, it's called the MindFool Tour.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's quite confounding. Please explain why MindFool.
Well, number one, my mind is terribly in my way. Is one, and two, I think it's uh, you know the central thesis of the show is that I haven't grown up yet, and that I'm basically a child who's pretending to be an adult in an adult's body, and I feel like I'm not alone, and that most people who have to quote unquote adult on a daily basis pretend to have their stuff together but really don't, and their mind is very much in their way, but we're fools inside. And at some point, we forgot that that was the best part of us. So that is the big intellectual analysis of the show. But truthfully, it's just stand up, man. And come and see a stand up show, and I'll make you laugh for the better part of 110 minutes, I hope.
Well, for those of you living under a rock, Veer has just scored a second International Emmy nomination, and that's really massive. Big ups also to Jim Sarb, another guy who has lots of connections with the NCPA, who's also been nominated. But Veer has done it before. Is it
Listen,
less of a
it's-
surprise the second time around?
I know कि salad तो अच्छा होगा कि award मिले ना मिले. The salad is very bankable. Whether you win or not is this thing. So it's myself, Jim Sir, Shifali Shah, and then
True,
I believe Ekta Kapoor is actually going to win an award. That's confirmed. I think she's getting sort of an icon award or a lifetime achievement award for her work in television. But
Nice,
what
nice.
you
The Zarina
yes.
of television. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I didn't know, man. Ki pehle you have to go there and red carpets. Like I don't know if you've noticed, Hrishi K, but I'm not the most glamorous person in the world. It's a
Well, I can say this. I can say this about your glamour quotient is that you promote unknown Indian designers, which I think is a great thing to do, Veer. I mean, apart from all your work with pets and things like that, I mean, things which I really appreciate. If there are the top three things that I appreciate about Veer Das, that's one of them. So, I mean, I imagine that's going to happen again. I mean,
Oh
you're
yeah,
going
for
to,
sure.
wear an indigenous designer, some kid out of NIFT or something like that. Yeah.
And coming back to NCPA, yes. So two things. Every time I get on stage on this tour, I put out a post saying, "Can we find a brand new Indian designer?" But you have to be struggling. Your label shouldn't be fancy pants. You shouldn't be launched and all of that stuff. So the last time I went to the Emmys, we found Pradeep Bhatt, who was a third year NIFT student from Kangra, and he designed an Emmys outfit, and I think Touchwood is doing very well now. But at the 3 shows at the NCPA and on all 17 cities of the MindFool Tour, I'll be introducing the audience to a new fashion designer. I'll be wearing their clothes, a brand new singer-songwriter who'll be opening the show, and a brand new filmmaker who'll be filming the entire thing. So we're kind of giving 3 local artists an opportunity. And then for the new Emmys thing, I'll do that as well. But what I learned last time is you go at 4 o'clock for a show, which is the Emmys. Then you do red carpets for an hour. Uske baad they make you eat for an hour and a half. So they give you this 5 course meal, and then after that you sit through the awards. So everybody is tired, they're bloated, and then by the end of the awards, 95% of the people have lost. No, at the end of the day, so it's 95% pissed off, bloated, tired people in a room together. But the salad is damn good. So we'll see what happens.
And you can't even walk out like an Indian awards ceremony where they patch all your claps
है
and
ना?
your whistles throughout the show, even if you're not there
Yeah.
after
No,
the
you
first
can't
20
do that.
minutes.
No.
You know, the NCPA and you go back a long way, and
Yeah.
I want to know whether you've performed at the Tata Theatre as well as the Jamshed Bhabha and the Experimental. What are the spaces that you've explored there?
So I've only done Tata and Jamshed Bhabha. The first time I ever did stand up in a theater, which I'd venture to say is one of the first times that English stand up had happened in an Indian theater, because pre that it was very theatre, and we weren't considered a theatrical art form. And Tata Theatre is really the first people to put a stand-up comedian on stage. I had a show
Might I
called
interrupt and say that was Fame Ad Labs,
Yeah, there you go. I was performing. Yeah,
where I came and hugged you after the show. Those were the days.
those are the days. But
Yeah.
we used to struggle, because if you could sell out a restaurant which was 150 people, but you felt like you could do better and you could sell maybe 500 or 600 people, the only place you could go was a cinema. So I had a show called Walking on Broken Das, and in 2008, Tata Theatre put me on stage. I think 2008, 2009, and it just kind of went from there. And for the longest time, Jamshed Bhabha felt out of reach, because it's the Carnegie Hall of Mumbai, if you will.
Correct.
It's the most prestigious room there is. And last year we did 10 back-to-back shows at Jamshed Bhabha with the Wanted tour. So over 5 days, we did an early and a late show. So that was just really nice. That was a big milestone for me to be able to do a 10-show run at Jamshed Bhabha.
I think it's very beautifully described, Carnegie. And I love the chandelier.
Yeah.
And even when you're watching comedy, you're thinking of Zubin Mehta, the maestro, conducting
Yeah.
the Symphony Orchestra of India.
Yeah. And you're also, you feel a little bit of pride, but also a tremendous amount of shame, because you look at the prestige of the venue, and you know the jokes you're going to tell. You know what I mean? And the things you're going to talk about when you get on that stage. So you're like, I feel like I should be more cultured to perform in this space.
No, I mean, and the love that the NCPA feels for you is very apparent, because it was such a no-brainer that this chat should happen, and I'm so glad we caught up. But listen, the MindFool Tour is what, 30 cities or what, 50 cities?
Well,
Am I
it'll
getting the
be
number right?
30 shows in about 17 cities. And then
You go to America after this.
I go to America, but it's back and forth between America and India. So right now, we've added early shows across India, in Kolkata, in Bengaluru, in Pune, but we're also doing like the Nagpurs and the slightly smaller cities as well. We're going to Goa as well, and then I'll hopefully, God willing, I'll do the largest ever world tour that an Indian comedian has ever done. I'll go to 33 countries with this show.
Wow. And what to you has been the most meaningful thing about landing and its success, apart from the Emmy?
I think with landing, I was pushed to kind of really discover what it meant to be a comedian, which is all you have is words. It was about a slightly controversial, darker time. And then you kind of spend, I did 180 shows essentially out in the cold, because there was no other work opportunities coming your way at that moment in time, because you were, in the spotlight, quote unquote. And so you truly discover what it means to only have your art form and to have that carry you. So that was kind of nice. It's a show that I was able to be a little bit vulnerable in. I was able to direct it. And the fact that it's nominated for the Emmy it's sweet. But the fact that it's the most watched special and that it has love from people, I think that's more than anything else.
Well, one of my most defining moments, and I can never forget is when you talk about Kennedy Center and the aftermath,
Yes.
and New York City just erupted, man. I mean, they gave you was it a 5-minute ovation? I don't know if
Yeah.
in the edit it perhaps
We
was
had to
even
trim it
7 or
down.
8 minutes.
Yeah, we
But you
had
had to
trim it down.
probably take off
Yeah.
a few minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's beyond goosebump, is it? Goosebump stuff, isn't it? When you're on
I
stage.
I think so, but I mean, what I always try and remember is, and I say this with no arrogance, is you're first, I'm second. When you come to a Veer Das show, my promise to you is that I will send you home flying on a cloud. So it's a tough thing to do a show about your own pain, and you never wanted to get indulgent or paint you as a victim, because I remember that you have got babysitters, you have cancelled plans, you have a ton of options. You are young people who've saved for this for months, or your parents who this is your first night out and you've left the baby with grandmom, or your old people and you miss home and you haven't been to India in a while. So your pain has to come first, your struggles have to come first, and I have to make you forget all of that stuff. My promise is you come to my show, you go home flying on cloud nine. That's what I remember. So ovations come and go, you know what I'm saying? But happy audiences has to be the guarantee, you know?
Hey, the last time we spoke, I think Whiskey Cavalier had just happened.
Yeah.
What's happening in terms of series? Are you doing anything exciting in the West?
I am. I have a series in development at Fox, which is me making music. It's called Country Eastern, and I think I'll get to co-create and star in that. Hopefully, if it goes through. Um, I'm directing a movie here soon. I just wrapped up a series here that I co-created as well. So there's, after landing, after everything, I kind of had to go away for a year, and then landing came out, and now I'm just acting. It's kind of back-to-back acting projects. So very grateful to have work.
I actually met Nikhil Advani last week for the Mumbai Diaries 2 interview, and he was asking me. He said, what's the kind of stuff that you've liked that's come out of Emmy? And I said, I loved Hasmukh. I mean, what is there more stuff happening in that space?
Well, the next 3-4 things that I'm doing, one is action. I'm co-directing a horror movie, and one is for kids. So the show I just created is just blatantly for kids, because I think that's one thing that OTTs are severely missing right now, is the show that parents can sit down and watch with their children. So no, I went and had a little bit of fun and just created a happy, fluffy kid show.
And because you're so honest and open about it, how's the gym time going and how's the therapy going?
It's
Your Insta page says it all.
Dude, I'm so old and I'm so tired. I swear to God. It's weird to have to be an action person in February, which is what I'm prepping back from. So I have to be built by February. Yeah. And after years of, just shitting on gym bros, I have respect for these guys, because I'm going to
life bites you in the backside.
It really does. And therapy, my therapist is very good. I don't know what she does, but it seems to be working. I'm not exactly sure what she does, but yeah.
That's lovely. Veer, thank you so much for your time, buddy. All of you are listening, 19th and 22nd at the Jamshed Bhabha. Well, that's where he is. And this is the MindFool Tour.
Yes.
Like he said, maybe you'd catch him in Nagpur or Pune or some other city. Never say never. Proud of everything you're doing, buddy. And thanks. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you, Hrishi. Good to see you, my man.
One world, your station.